It has been an electric atmosphere here in Chicago, and tonight it's Game 4 of the series between the Pirates and the Cubs here from Wrigley Field, and the winner decides the season series and whether the Cubs are going to have company atop the division. Just a half-game lead over the Brewers, who are idle tonight. The Cubs will be hosting the Cardinals after this. They know that they need a win tonight. And welcome into the booth. Joe Block and John Wayner with you here this evening. It's another Trevor time tonight as Trevor Williams back out on the mound, and he has been a Brewer killer this year, and tonight the Brewers are the team that are cheering for him because he's going to try to beat the Cubs.
It's really remarkable what Trevor Williams has been able to do. By far the best pitcher in baseball in the second half. It's historic how good he has been this year against the Cubs. A couple of starts, a 1-1 record, a 1.38 ERA. They're only hitting 170 against him. Williams, man, he's tough to hit.
And he has been doing this really since the beginning of July. Those last 12 starts, no Pirate pitcher has ever had an ERA that low over 12 starts in a season.
You set the note today. I mean, he's been scored upon in 4 innings of his last 71. It's incredible. An 8-2 record over the last 12 starts, ERA of 1. They're not only not hitting for average, but not getting any extra base hits. 14 wins, only 9 Pirates since '90 with more than those 14. The ERA has been spectacular in opponent's average. It's not luck. That's for doggone short. It's not luck. Trevor Williams is flat out good.
Yeah, and the Cubs know it, and they need a win tonight. The Pirates look to play spoiler here in Chicago. It's had a postseason feel to it. We've got the Pirates and the Cubs, and it's coming up next right here on AT Sportsnet. Game 4 of this series, Pirates and the Cubs. There's a palpable feel of nervousness and excitement here for the Chicago fans as the Pirates have taken 2 out of the first 3 games of this series. And it'll be a tough foe on the mound for Chicago tonight. The lefty ace for the Cubs, John Lester.
They're looking for his 18th win. He's 17-6 with a 3.43 ERA. 32nd start. This guy is reliable. He takes the ball. He starts 30 a year. Wins a bunch of games.
Pablo Reyes, who has hit a pair of home runs in this series. the spark plug, hitting at .319 in his first month in the big leagues.
And here we go. I'm not going to start in the first inning.
You're already howling at Jim Wolf.
I'm not going to start.
Marquez,
Jeez.
Rayburn, and Holbrook.
From watching it, not in the monitor, but live, you could see that ball was away.
Reyes can run a little bit. And a nifty play by Baez, but it draws Rizzo off the bag.
Yep, he deserved it. 2 borderline pitches going against Pablo, and plus he hit the ball hard a few times last night. He had a hit coming to him, so a little chopper off the end of the bat. Baez throwing on the run. A perfect throw probably gets him, but a little bit high, very little room for error.
Here's the rest of the Pirates RAV4 lineup tonight. Marte coming up with Bell hitting third. Cervelli cleaning up. He has crushed the Cubs all year. Osuna, Harrison, and Moran, Mercer, and Williams round out the Pirates 9 tonight.
Boy, Marte up now. What an at bat he had last night. That was something else. A little 2-strike adjustment. Hit a bullet to tie things up.
Pirates were down to their final strike.
Yep.
And had a 2-run double. That was quite a comeback last night. The Cubs thought they may have had an out on a ball against the screen, but Marte, along with Diaz, his hit in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
Down 4, made it 2, and then tied it in the 9th.
That was some kind of fun. I don't think it was fun for the Cubs fans until Almora came up, but it was fun to be a Pirate fan there. That late comeback. Boy, Lester's wanting these pitches. I mean, they're really not close, and he's looking in at the veteran umpire Jim Wolf as to say, I want that call. Really not close.
Well, Lester's been much better lately. The last time the Pirates faced him, he had been in a mighty slump, but pitched well against the Pirates. And he walks Marte on 4 pitches. So something right away here for the Pirates. 2 on and nobody out. And behind Lester tonight, the Honda defense. Ian Happ is in center field with Schwarber and Zobrist on the corners. No Hayward in the outfield tonight. Bodie, Baez, Murphy, and Rizzo. Wilson Contreras does the catching. The All-Star. Well, the Pirates have had the lead first in each of the first 3 games of this series.
It's always key. Much higher winning percentage for every team when they score first.
And a 5th straight wide one from Lester. Josh Bell, 61 RBIs. And he has been hitting the ball hard in September. Good career numbers against Lester. He has homered against him.
Yeah, there's times where you see Lester, he pitches and it's pretty much fastball cutter. That a curveball to Bell. He will mix in an occasional curveball, an occasional changeup. He's been throwing him a little more of late, at least in the second half.
Hitters count.
A little help there. 2-1 pitch. That's the late cut that came in off the plate.
And we always think about what is the wind like tonight. And south at 7, so probably not much of a factor tonight. A little breeze. has loaded the count. In danger of loading the bases here with nobody out. Some patient hitting. Three-two. Spoil that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pitch. Pretty good location there.
Jim Hickey, the Cubs' first-year pitching coach. Hopes he doesn't have to come out to the mound here in the first inning. Might get shooed away by Lester. That one hit toward the gap, hanging up there for Happ. And he makes the first out. No advance on that throw. And last night, Francisco Cervelli popped the one up, and a little controversy as Rizzo thought he had made a catch. And then afterward, Cervelli might have thought he had a home run.
Yeah, that didn't miss by much, the home run, just under that basket. But yeah, that the fan kind of messing with Rizzo. Rizzo thought he had it. The umpire thought he had it. The umpire had that right hand up.
Yeah, Jim Wolf had put the right hand up and then immediately signaled no catch when he saw the ball not in the glove. No interference tonight. They're going to get out of his way. But then Cervelli is setting up the Marte double that ended up tying it. He's got two on here. And that was as a pinch hitter last night. He has hit well in this ballpark, especially too, over the last couple of years. Remember that grand slam he had in that 10-run first inning last year, right before the All-Star break. He is homered in this series. Took a little off, evening the count. More of a changing speeds kind of guy now, right, Lester?
Well, 3/4 of the time it's still fastball cutter, but you know, 1/4 of the time he might throw you a curveball or a changeup.
Try to set it up there. He has thrown 9 balls and 8 strikes so far. Trying to establish that command early.
Definitely pitching carefully.
Cervelli ahead in the count, 2-1, 2 on with 1 out.
Oh.
He says, I better get that for my guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange to watch Lester kind of pick. He's picking here early in this ball game, and then he's got the advantage. He's gotten a few calls already, kind of picking, trying to work that outside part of the plate. He's a guy that for the most part has always been pretty aggressive. The fastball and the cutter, he's had great confidence in it. He'd come at guys with it. Felt that he can get them out, but really being careful.
That's what got Ivan Nova in trouble last night.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, yeah, Nova wasn't as aggressive, especially with the fastballs we've seen throughout his Pirates career. A lot of changeups and curveballs. End up costing him. Short outing. Hopefully that's what happens to Lester tonight. But I don't ever recall Lester pitching so carefully.
The only hitter he wasn't behind was Reyes, who has a base hit. He's the lead runner. Marte with good wheels at first.
You know, and you might sit there and say, well, it's a big game for the Cubs, but Lester's pitched a ton of big games, you know, World Series, playoffs, and you know, he is a big game pitcher. He's had great success in the postseason.
Reyes could score on a base hit with 1 out. And Marte at great speed at first. Will the Pirates strike first again tonight? The runners go, and it's ball 4 to fill them up. They sent the runners with 1 out. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the first inning, and Contreras is going to come up to chat. That gives us a moment to give you our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Jordan Luplow, who was originally in the starting lineup today, scratched this afternoon because this morning underwent an appendectomy, and so his season is over, and we wish the best for Jordan, as those things are unexpected, and he was hoping to get a little bit more playing time, but he'll be just fine. Everything went fine. So Osuna in the lineup tonight in right field. The Pirates probably didn't want to put Osuna in the outfield much here in September, but played a lot there last year, and once or twice here in September.
This is where you want Osuna. You want him in the batter's box, and had a good night last night. A big long home run, and has an opportunity here with the bases loaded, 1 out.
Nice ball, 1 well outside. Osuna's had a good week at the plate.
Man, this is old school, this strike zone. That's a big difference. I mean, you got bases loaded, 1 out. There's a huge difference batting 1-0, 2-0, or 1-1.
Well, if Williams gets that tonight, it's going to be tough for anybody to score. Lester has helped out the Pirates with a couple of walks. But Osuna, who has hit lefty so well, hasn't seen one in the zone yet.
Really not close to the zone. And I know we talked about it the other night. I mean, these are the situations where, as a hitter, you're bearing down, as a pitcher, you're bearing down, as an umpire, you have to bear down. These are game-changing situations.
Now, Wolf has given that outside fastball for a strike to Lester multiple times already. That one gets in there. Two and two on Osuna. Saxed, packed with 1 out. Osuna does not run well. Could be doubled up. Got a lot of power, though. Had to swing at it. It's been called a strike. And that's where some of that changes, too.
I mean, you flip the count when you call the 1-0 pitch a strike. I mean, that makes a big difference. That 2-0 pitch is a lot different. And then again, like you mentioned, when you're the pitcher's getting that pitch that's off the plate away, you have to protect. Osuna trying to just foul it off or waste it, but it has to be a frustrating at bat. A bat you feel like maybe taken away from you. Could have been a different story if you're up there 2-0, 3-1 instead of 1-1, 2-2.
At the very least, might have drawn another walk. Lester's hardly tickled the strike zone yet. Josh Harrison getting a start tonight. Trying to get the Pirates on the board first. Well, part of the reason why mound visit limits were implemented was because of the Cubs catcher, I think, Wilson Contreras, who, especially in the latter stages of the last season of the postseason, was visiting the mound a couple times an inning, which he's already done here in the first.
Well, the way the middle infielder ran to the mound with Contreras, that means they probably changed the signs with the runner on second.
And Lester's going to get out of it. 2 walks and a hit, but nothing across the plate for the Buccos in their half of the first. And John Lester let off the hook. Daniel Murphy will lead it off for the Cubs tonight. And the rest of the Chicago 9 this evening: Ben Zobrist, one of the leaders in batting average; Anthony Rizzo and Javier Baez, 3 and 4, with Kyle Schwarber some decent career numbers against Williams. Few have that right now. Happ and Contreras. John Lester, the pitcher, bats 8th, and then David Bodie getting the start at 3rd. Chris Bryant still banged up.
Trevor Williams looking for win number 15, and with another good night, and get that ERA under 3. And only the elite nowadays finish the year with an ERA under 3. You can get up over 170 innings. His 31st start. A fine season, no matter what happens tonight with Trevor.
All career bests and career highs. And the defense behind him this evening: Jordy Mercer gets the start at short with Josh Harrison, the double play partner. Moran and Bell on the corners. Reyes, Marte, and Osuna in the outfield. And the battery mate for Williams tonight: Francisco Cervelli. Daniel Murphy, always a tough out. .294 with the Nats and Cubs.
Two pitches in the zone. This is another thing. It'll be interesting to see what ends up happening tonight with the strike zone. If it gets tightened up, or if they continue, Jim Wolf continues to give pitches off the plate. But the one thing that you don't see very much anymore, that I think you should see, especially with all the video and everything else that's going on today, is if you're getting, or the opposing pitcher is getting pitches off the plate, you don't see it exploited that often. You know, it would be almost like, why throw, if that's 4 straight pitches to start the game, Trevor Williams is in the strike zone. I mean, you would think, you know, word would get out to Cervelli and Williams, hey, he's calling 4, 5, 6 inches off the plate. Expose it, use it, take advantage of it.
Out to left, and Reyes has the first out. Now, those were pitches away to right-handed batters. I wonder if would he also call it on the other side of the plate, because the Cubs are going to have mostly left-handed batters up tonight.
There's only one way to find out.
So Williams takes care of the first hitter. Ben Zobrist, a switch hitter. Slider just missed to start. 310 is 3rd in the league.
You know, if you get the word passed on, let's just say, for instance, now you're at a 1-1 count. Set up off the plate. Put one out there just to see.
Right up the line. Osuna will get it quickly. He's got a good arm. The 37-year-old can still get into second. Double off the bat.
See, Cervelli wanted it up and in. It was pretty close to right where he set up, but it sailed just a touch over the inner half instead of keeping it on the corner. And Zobrist is geared up for fastball, turned on it, placed it perfectly between Bell and the foul line.
That's one of the more amazing things, because Williams throws more fastballs percentage-wise than any pitcher in the league. So they know what's coming in theory. And he's still been very tough to hit. Fastball to Rizzo. Eighth in the league, 97 runs batted in. The Pirates threatened in the top half, but did not score.
Oh, nice looking change up there. Was that fastball in there on the inside corner, belled high. Gets Rizzo to cheat a little bit, geared up for another, didn't get it. Nicely placed changeup.
Ahead 2 strikes. Playable out to Marte. No chance to advance. 2 outs. Got Rizzo out on the fastball, and for Trevor Williams, since the All-Star break, this is what he did really last season too. The fastball, guys just didn't hit it. And again, getting to that point where, since he's righted the ship, second lowest opposing batting average on the 4-seamer right there among starting pitchers.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive stuff right there. 155 against a fastball that averages 90 to 91 miles per hour.
Yeah, his velocity is actually a tick down, mile and a half or so from last season. Hasn't mattered one bit. You know, there's 92 upstairs. Baez cuts right through it. One of the top hitters in the league.
Late.
What makes that fastball invisible sometimes to hitters?
Don't know. It's the one thing I can't explain. I can't.
There were guys you faced maybe that were similar, where it wasn't just the velocity, it was something that made it tough.
Well, I don't know if it's a release point, if it's hiding the ball, if it's spin rate. I don't know.
And neither have the opponents. Trying to strand Zobrist at second. Keep him honest down there.
Now, the only problem I have with them keeping the batter honest is, I know Baez is mostly a pull hitter, but you throw a pitch in the strike zone, your second baseman is vacating early, and there's really no play at second base, but you have a second baseman it's a pre-planned call. Harrison breaks out of position to go cover second base. If Baez hits a grounder to the right side, it's 1-0. That's the only thing I have a problem with that play.
And he hits it to the left side. And Moran right on target for the final out. So they do strand that 1-out double. Both teams get aboard, but put up zeros in the first.
Neil Huntington, and I'm Robbie Mikowski. Neil Huntington just announced pretty recently that Jung-Ho Kang is going to return to the Pirates, who will play in the weekend series in Cincinnati against the Reds, and Huntington discussed his return.
He's continued to work hard, and we're running out of games. And I mean, we're a little bit uncomfortable bringing him up here after just really 5 Instruction League games, today being the 5th and final one. But we only have 3 games left in our season after today, and wanted to respect his hard work, his intent to get back, his work to get back, and see. It's not going to really help us a lot in our evaluation process as to where we take this, but at the same time, give him an opportunity to get back to the big league.
And Neil Huntington, Joe and Greg did also say, or Joe and Rock, also said that it's not going to come at the expense of playing time for guys like Colin Moran, guys like Jose Osuna at third base. So we'll see how much he plays. And as you heard Neil say a moment ago, it's not going to affect their impact or their evaluation that they have of Jung Ho Gung, but it's certainly not going to take away from other guys they want to continue to get looks at.
Thanks, Robbie. Yeah, that's some news that we'll see Gung in Cincinnati. And, you know, it's 3 games, so just like you can't evaluate Gung, you can't evaluate Moran any more than his body of work for the whole season, or Osuna, what you've seen for 2 years. So why not see him a little bit? But you know, had that wrist surgery at the beginning of August, so that's why we might have seen Gung a couple of months ago. Yeah, but we'll see him for 3 days.
Yeah, I would almost think for sure we would have seen Jung Ho Gung for at least the month of September if healthy, and that's big news. I mean, I don't know, you know, what a lot of folks think, but that's big news. Jung Ho Gung, you know, after a long layoff, being back, because he could potentially be a big part of this offense next year if he can regain that form he had.
Moran toward the corner. That will be extra bases. And Moran in at second base with that opposite field double to start the Pirates' 2nd inning. Just to finish up, no doubt on Gung, because his power was the best on the team a couple of years ago.
Pretty looking swing there from Colin Moran, just staying with the fastball that's away from him, and so pretty when that left-handed batter can hit a ball the other way, and Colin Moran does it as well as anybody.
Well, left on left. Moran getting a rare start against a left-hander. And the Pirates right back in business here in the 2nd inning. Lester got out of a bases loaded 1-out jam unscathed in the 1st. Jordy Mercer gets the start tonight at short. Game number 771 in his Pirates career at shortstop. It is 7th season, 7th all time in games at short by a Pirate. And that hangs up there for Murphy. Soft liner is the first out. We were telling you about Jung Ho Gung. He'll be with the Pirates in that Red Series that begins tomorrow in Cincinnati. And in those 2 seasons, I mean, the power. Remember, he got off to a slow start too. So I mean, really, once he got used to velocity, that power was few third basemen were hitting for that kind of power in baseball.
He has power. If you give him consistent at bats, he can carry an offense when he gets hot. Like we've seen with Polanco this year, and you know, Marte and Dickerson, and we've seen it with Bell last year. We've seen it for many years with McCutchen. Jung Ho Gung has that type of swing and that type of power that when he gets hot, he can carry an offense.
And he's been out of baseball for, you know, 2 years essentially. Got very little time down at the AAA. So spring training next year will tell if he is he has an option for next season that the Pirates could pick up. And so if he isn't back, if he is back next season, then you got to look at him in spring training. See what you think. Williams puts it in play. And that advances runner, but there are 2 outs now as Moran stands at third.
Baez. He went a long way for that. Now, obviously, it wasn't hit very hard. But with the pitcher batting, you don't typically see a shortstop venture that far across the diamond. I mean, he got that ball 10 feet on the right field side of second base.
What I enjoyed is that Murphy, the second baseman, didn't move.
Yeah.
I could see if they both went for it. I got it. Now Reyes a 2-out chance. Look at StatCast AI powered by AWS. Look at Murphy.
Murphy doesn't. Yeah, that's something. Murphy may have been closer to that ball than Baez.
He took a half step and said, "No, he's got it."
Come on, Jim Wolf. It's unbelievable.
And this presents an unfair advantage, because if he's going to call him away to right-handed batters, well, which team has more right-handed batters up right now? They've got a lefty pitcher. And,
again, it might be on both sides. We don't know yet. All I know is that John Lester's very smart to continue to try to exploit that. And there's been at least,
oh, no doubt,
a half a dozen pitches that are at least 4 inches off the plate called strikes here in the second inning.
Now Lester's pitched in some big games. This one has that feel for the Cubs. That probably nicked the zone, and so Reyes fouling it away. But we saw with the Osuna at bat, he had to swing 2 strikes on a pitch that was out there off the plate, because it might have been called a strike on it. We'll see if that happens here. Moran at third with 2 outs. That makes it easy. Lester walked 2 in the first and has struggled at times throwing strikes. Reyes singled off him last inning. One here would put the Pirates on the board first. Fouled away.
Yeah, that's where they finished Reyes a couple times last night. After getting 2 strikes, elevated the ball in, got him looking a couple of times.
The veteran against the rookie. Reyes in his first month in the major leagues. John Lester been here a long time. Won a couple of World Series. Bouncer, Bodie. It's Reyes. And the Pirates turned aside by Lester in the second. but it's still scoreless through an inning and a half at Wrigley. John Lackey, the ex-Cub, now a free agent. Maybe retired now by the looks of that toast. Let's look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders. Scoreless starts of 6 or more innings. Trevor Williams leading the pack. John Lester's done it 7 times. No Pirate pitcher had ever done it more than 8. And Williams 10 of those.
I guess we could say he led the league. I don't think anybody's going to pass him or catch him.
That's fair. Scoreless starts of 6 or more innings. Steve Blass was the last to get to 8 for the Pirates. No one had ever done 9, and he's got 10. Back in Steve's fantastic 1968 season. Kyle Schwarber will start it off. A couple of career home runs against Williams. Well, that pitch just off the plate on that side.
That's the other thing we have yet to see, because Lester with 2 strikes, to see if that is still going to get called.
Comes inside, and Marte inexplicably didn't catch the ball.
All kind of bad on that one. Bad defense, bad base running. Trevor Williams did his job. Got a routine fly ball. Did not get the routine catch, and Schwarber ends up at first.
There's 2 guys that could have made that catch routinely. And all of a sudden, the Cubs are going to have 2 aboard with nobody out. I've never heard much about the lights here interfering with anything. There's some dark spots out in the outfield, but that can't. That wouldn't have affected that.
No excuses. 0.
And they weren't close. It's not like Marte stopped to let Osuna catch the ball there either. Marte was in position. That was just weird. Osuna, okay, like he's been called off right there.
Got to take charge. You're the center fielder. You got to take charge. Go make that play. That's your ball. It's routine.
Got a hole here now to get out of with nobody out. Chiavelli wants to talk. And you said, you know, that wasn't the only mistake, because Schwarber should be at second base in this.
Yeah. That's today's baseball. Everybody just takes things for granted. Whether you're a half game in front and first, or a half game behind and first, or there's 3 games left, or 4 games left, or 150 games left. That's just the way guys play baseball nowadays. Young, old.
Strike over to Wilson Contreras, the young catcher who is an all-star, but he is fallen into a mighty slump the last couple of months. It can be doubled up. The pitcher is on deck.
Another late swing on a Trevor Williams fastball.
Lester bats in the 8th spot here in this Cubs lineup. Throw it just off the plate away, right? Let's see if you can get that call from Jim Wolf. Instead, a swing and a miss and 1 out.
Nothing fancy. Trevor Williams fastball. It's just hard to hit. It's just impressive how He just stays aggressive. You know you're getting fastballs to hit, and you still can't hit them.
That's what makes him great. 2 on with 1 out. I would assume the bunt. Don't assume with the Cubs. Well, the corner's pinching in. Now we saw last night, let Freeman in a bunting situation have a cut, and then he bunted. Freeman, a light hitting infielder. He went.
That was a strike.
Yeah, either way. Yeah, instead of taking for sure second and third with 2 outs for Bodie, who's also been in a slump, they go with the 105 hitting Lester. Let him swing away and possibly bounce into a double play. Two on now with 1 out. That's not a strike. But Lester getting pitches inches off the plate has been. Lackey would like that. If I got those strikes. 3-2 to the opposing pitcher.
No surprise. Trevor Williams isn't going to mess around. You know, some borderline pitches didn't go his way, so I'll throw it down the middle.
Take your chances with Lester. And he was looking for a walk. Who can blame him? Back-to-back strikeouts after the first 2 aboard. The lead runner Schwarber on a fly ball that fell in front of Marte in center.
That blows me away too. Like there's no error on that play. You know, you can hit a rocket at an infielder. Takes a bad hop, hits it up, 105 miles an hour. Takes a bad hop, hits you in the wrist. You get an error every time. Routine fly ball drops in front of an outfielder.
Yeah.
Goes as a hit.
I know we're get off my lawn mode here early. Apologize for that. Been some wacky things here early. So Bodie, the 9 hitter. Count even on him. He's had some big 2-out hits this year. More than half of his runs batted in have come with 2 outs. But he has been struggling since hitting well as he first came up to the big leagues. Two and 1 on him. Did he go?
Oh,
Jim Wolf says so.
Said so, yeah.
Didn't bother to go down to Marquez.
I thought he held it, personally.
Take a look. Yeah.
That's a bad call. Wow.
Pirates catch a break.
That's not even like the true angle. That's not. I mean, obviously it wasn't appealed to the first base umpire, but that angle that we have from that particular camera is like on the home plate side of the dugout, so it's even going to make look like he even went further than he actually did.
see if Williams can take advantage. 2 on, 2 out. And the 2-2. Off Cervelli's glove, advancing the runners. It'll be a wild pitch.
Yeah, his fastball, talked about tough to hit, sometimes tough to catch.
Now a base hit might play to pair. A strike away from getting out of it. Both teams have threatened in each of their first 2 innings at the bat. And that one a foot fair into the corner. And it'll cost him 2. Bodie another 2-out hit, trying for 3. And he's got a 2-run triple. Cubs on top early.
And you know, the thing that stinks about it is he should be sitting in the dugout. He should be sitting in the dugout watching his teammates hit. A little surprised he went with a changeup with the full count. And good swing, though, by Bodie to be able to keep that pitch fair. That's a changeup off the plate. A lot of guys are hooking that into the stands. He keeps it fair down the line. But, you know, you get a routine fly ball and a couple of strikeouts, you should be in the dugout. You know, he has a chance to get his ERA under 3. That's gone now because the fly ball's not caught.
And just a message, the assistant pitching coach out. And Williams has pitched his way out of these jams time and time and time again. And once in a while, the opposition can get to him. Yeah, but you're right, Rock. I mean, that's one of those innings where it didn't look like it was going to be much, but Bodie came through.
That's a good swing. I mean, that's an impressive at bat by Bodie to keep that ball fair. But the inning shouldn't have gone that far.
And so now 21 2-out RBIs for Bodie out of his 32 in his rookie year. Back to the top of the order, Daniel Murphy.
And I wouldn't put it past Murphy to drop a bunt down here if they're going to give it to him. Moran's way off the line.
A 300 hitter.
Yeah, there's a lot of room down there. I mean, that's an easy way to steal an RBI and a base hit.
And Murphy not a fast guy, even though he's in the leadoff spot, but you don't have to be fast if you got that much room.
Ball coming off the net. Heads up. Got him.
That's a point. Awkward swing by a good hitter. Williams struck out the first 2 after the first 2 reached. And then Bodie's 2-run triple. He's filling in for Bryant tonight. Driven out to Marte. But that's it for Chicago. They strike first. Through 2. 2-0 Cubs. between the two outfielders out there. Marte right in front of that ball that dropped, and never know how the inning plays out, but getting that first out probably would have made a big difference in that inning. Instead, 2-0 Chicago. Marte will lead it off.
There's things that happen in the outfield, especially here at Wrigley. The fans are so close. Somebody could be yelling, "I got it, I got it." You know, that's still, there's no excuse. It's a play that has to be made.
And Clint Hurdle also, I think I just saw him say, "What happened?" Get an explanation. Well, hopefully the Bucks bats can get enough off Lester tonight. Cody playing in a good hop and 1 out. Now both teams have put men in scoring position in each of their first 2 times up. The Pirates loaded the bases against Lester in the first, had a leadoff double in the second. And for the first time, Lester retires the leadoff man. He'll be at 50 pitches when he throws the first one to Bell. Flied out his first trip. Now the Cubs clinched a playoff berth last night. Does not mean that they are relaxed. Their lead over Milwaukee is 1/2 game, which means with the Brewers idle, they could either be a game up with 3 to play or even, as their lead of 5 on Labor Day has shrunk quickly. And the Cubs are going to have the Cardinals coming in, who are now on the outside looking in for the postseason. And the Brewers will host Detroit, and they've been out of it pretty much since the get-go.
Big win for the Rockies. Yeah. Now they're up a game in NL West.
They've won 7 in a row and have moved ahead of the Dodgers. And you know, when the Dodgers played the Giants, their rival, that it's going to be a lot like this series. You know, the Giants are out of it, but they would love nothing more than not only to deal the Dodgers defeat, but maybe even knock them out of the postseason.
Yeah.
They haven't clinched yet. Up third and foul. And the winner will take the season series here. The Pirates have not beaten the Cubs in the series since the 14 season, when the Cubs were just starting to bring their young players up and get going. Full again on Bell.
Yeah, this is the one thing we haven't seen as far as, you know, Lester command's not been great. We haven't seen him with 2 strikes try to get that extra couple inches off the outside edge till now.
And the verdict is in. 3rd walk issued by John Lester. Make your plans on Saturday to go on now to PNC Park. Ed Sheeran will bring his North American Stadium tour to Pittsburgh, and all the greatest hits for Ed, as new seats have been just released, including the ability to watch the show from a suite. For more info and tickets, go to pirates.com/Sheeran. And strike 1 to Cervelli. Cervelli drew a walk back in the first. Dropped the curveball in there.
That's a dandy. That's almost impossible to hit right there. That little backdoor breaking ball. Got a lot of break to it. It leaves the hand. It looks like it's way outside. maybe even high, and it just keeps tumbling. The knees on the corner.
Here at Wrigley Field in his career, 327. All 5 of those home runs have come either this year or last year. So he has really did well here the last couple of years, this series, this season. Two and two on Cervelli. And now full. Osuna on deck.
We'll see if they'll send Josh Bell. Cervelli, pretty good knowledge of the strike zone. With a lefty, a lot of times they won't send a runner with a 3-2 count. But Lester, as everybody knows, does not throw to first. So you can take off first movement and try to stay out of a double play and open a hole for Cervelli.
He is going. And fouled away. Well, you know this game has a lot of importance for folks in the state of Wisconsin. And for the Brew Crew fans tuned in tonight. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Tell us where you're watching. You got the black and gold on tonight? Send us a picture on social media. Hashtag Bucks Booth.
Yeah,
have a good number of followers here tonight, I'm sure.
Sure. Brewers fans rooting for the Pirates for the first time in their lives.
Cervelli strikes out. Bell moving on the pitch will steal second. Cervelli on the follow through came in contact with Contreras.
Yeah, the changeup out in front was Cervelli, and Contreras just lost the handle.
Yeah. Looking at it live, it looked like maybe there was contact. No, Cervelli was out of the way. So a stolen base. Got a 2-out chance for Osuna. Try to see if he can locate that curveball again. Now the Pirates already 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. They've had chances against Leicester. Saw the curve again. Bodie gets the out. He's been the guy for the Cubs so far tonight.
is brought to you by the law firm of Bordas & Bordas. Bordas & Bordas, fighting for justice. Let's go Bucks!
2-0 Chicago on the UPMC scoreboard. Josh Bell left on. Pirates 0 for 7 now with runners in scoring position early against Leicester. Well, they keep getting men on.
And you get a guy like that's what makes guys like Lester so good. They're just tough to hit when they get runners in scoring position. They don't make many mistakes. They make pitches when they have to. I mean, when you've been around as long as Lester has, sitting on 176 career wins, you know how to pitch in those situations.
And Trevor Williams has done the same thing this year. Now he doesn't have the as long a resume, of course, younger pitcher, but that's what made Bodie's triple. You said he hit a good pitch, and he's pitched his way. I mean, it's not like throughout this stretch for Trevor Williams, it's all 1, 2, 3 innings, smiles and rainbows all the time. I mean, sometimes he's had second and third, nobody out, and he still puts up the 0.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you look at the Pirates' best 2 pitchers this year. That's that stands out. Tyone and Williams. They know how to pitch, and they've made pitches in situations with runners in scoring position. They like find another gear, another level, more conviction in their pitches, better execution.
Change it up, and Zobrist, the 3rd strikeout victim for Trevor Williams tonight. And this has been, well, he's really pitched well as a starter his whole career, but he's turned it up another level, to use your phrase. Since about early July, the last 12 starts for Trevor Williams coming into tonight, an ERA of 1. The lowest in Pirate history since the ERA was kept.
So, and what's amazing, and you pointed this out to me today, is now in 73 innings. The last inning was the 5th inning out of 73 that he's allowed to run.
Out to Marte. They'll snare that liner for the 2nd out.
So of his last 73 innings, 68 of them, he's put up a 0. That's insane.
And he's had stretches of 20 or more scoreless innings twice. He was on, what, 13, I think it was, or 14, prior to that Bodie triple. I mean, he goes weeks without allowing runs.
Yeah.
One of the, you know, when you say historic, and we've heard that word bandied about, that's accurate for this stretch he's been on. But he's also been, you know, one of my favorite things to look at is, you know, his entire body of work. And since that first start he had in LA, his first major league start last May, from Southern California, nervous as all get out. He was fumbling the ball, hitting back to him on the mound, throwing it away at first base. You could tell, had a bad outing. And then since then, he's been one of the lower ERAs in the National League as a starting pitcher for his entire starting career. So this is not an aberration. He's good. He's just been the best over the last half of the season.
He's allowed 4 earned runs in August. 5 earned runs allowed in July, and that was in 1 start. The 4 earned runs in August. They scored in 3 of 31 innings.
He's been the best, and that's why the Cubs having an early lead against him is such a rarity.
Yeah, and that 2nd inning, that was the 2nd inning in his 5 starts that he was scored upon.
And the last time he lost was to these Cubs, who beat him 1-0 in mid-August.
Good changeup here, right on White. Baez was geared up for the heat, didn't get it.
Good movement in on him.
Yeah, out in front and over it. I wouldn't be surprised he throws a fastball at him. And try to hit that outside corner.
Tried to miss. And so a 2-out walk. Not a bad guy to if you're going to miss. That's okay. Chris Archer, news today that he's not going to make that final start Sunday in Cincinnati. A groin concern that has bothered him on and off throughout the year. He's had a good year. Sub-3 ERA, 2.70 to be exact in September. So he's pitched more like Chris Archer. But he'll be done and he'll get ready for 2019. Pirates have not yet announced who will start. So it'll be Kingham, Tyone, and then TBA. Schwarber with a base hit, generously awarded so, to lead off the second inning. Very close to the first pitch. Right to Bell. And the 2-out walk doesn't matter. He's left on, and Trevor Williams and the Pirates down 2-0.
Wheel drive RAV 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
Cubs fans have been on their edges of their seats here in this series. There's Dorothy, a longtime Cubs fan, and they have had some moments of adulation lately. Their 4th straight postseason for the first time in club history, but their postseason run could be very short-lived if they have to go into the wild card game, and Pirates could be a big part of that. They come from behind and win tonight. They were down 4 runs in the 8th inning yesterday to tie before the Cubs prevailed in 10 innings for the first win of the series. The Pirates took the first 2 in a rather commanding fashion. Lester has pitched his way out of 3 jams already.
Now that pitch count up a bit. He likes to get those quick outs. Over 20 pitches per inning through the first 3.
Moran with a double his first time. Hit well again, but lines out. And another quick out. 2 up and 2 down against Lester on 3 pitches. You can make your holiday card stand out when you get your family photo taken at the clubhouse at PNC Park. It's now accepting reservations for dates in November. And season ticket holder rates are available for rates and dates. Go to pirates.com/holiday photos. Well, as it stands, if the Cubs do become a wild card team, Lester would be on target for that start. A potential winner-take-all game. And Baez somehow gets there. And his decision to throw it doesn't cost him. That was a great play to get there, but I don't know if he should have thrown that ball.
Yeah, but I think he kind of throws caution to the wind.
Which sometimes is really fun if it doesn't cost you, and that didn't there.
It would have been fun to see if the throw was indeed online, how close it would have been.
I think some of that too, right, is the trust in your first baseman. Rizzo, a good first baseman, knows he'll come off the bag if it's somewhere close, and that's what it was. Mercer's hit brings up the pitcher, and that's an opportunity to clear that spot at the very least. Gave it his all. He's an exciting player to watch, there's no doubt, and a very, very good player. I think we talked about this in the Brewers series that you know, if I had a vote, Yelich would be my MVP, but I think I would put Baez second.
I mean, what he's done offensively, yeah. 111 RBIs, 34 homers.
Playing 3 spots in the infield.
Moves all over the place. Exciting defense.
And the Pirates have done a good job limiting him in this series too. Williams put it in play last time around. Look at the count here. He's seen 5 pitches. Yeah, Mercer getting that base hit. Even this inning ends here. You've taken more pitches from what was going to be a very quick inning for Lester, and cleared the pitcher for next inning.
Oh boy, Trevor.
Good at bat. Yeah, he got 2 outs on the first 3 pitches. Williams can keep it going. Pablo next. I like this.
Yeah, that's great. We're closing in on 80 pitches for Lester.
Cubs bullpen has been uneven lately. Not bad, uneven. Sometimes they've had some really good performances, and last night we saw the Pirates were able to come back.
Good eye there. Look at that.
Full count, and he'll see a 9th pitch coming up. Lester's already walked 3 tonight.
Trevor's locked in.
In and out of the glove. Another pitch will have to be thrown. I don't remember a pitcher having a 10-pitch at bat this year for the Pirates. This is great. Jordy will be on the move with a pitch again. What a battle.
I love it. He's having fun.
Pitch number 10. Here comes number 11. Ball 4. And got a charitable call to boot. Lester's hot.
Well, I mean, it's like 8-1 as far as getting calls. It's the first ones that he hasn't gotten, and he's been given 8 or so.
Well, that extends the inning. This was looking like a single-digit pitch inning for Lester. He's thrown 16 now after that 11 pitch at bat to Williams. The Pirates have had a man in scoring position on in every inning, but have yet to crack the scoreboard. And Contreras, the Cubs counselor.
And a third mound visit. You notice that that was such a big deal in spring training, the mound visits. Is that enough mound visits? And, we never talk about mound visits anymore. After the first month or so, mound visits have been pretty much a non-issue.
Baseball did a very good job with that, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think there was one game this year where the Pirates ran out and it didn't really matter. But it curtails the guys that do it in excess.
The catchers. I mean, to me, the catchers, there were times the catchers were going out to the mound 3 or 4 times per inning. That's why you have signals.
Pablo with a big rip. Trying for his 3rd home run of the series. Pablo trying to be the first since Pedro. 3 home runs in a series here at Wrigley for the Pirates. Big curve. Well, Lester's been able to pitch out of trouble in each of the first 3 innings.
That's that big curveball again. We talked about it in the Cervelli at bat. Big looper. Starts off up and away.
He gets the call there. Hasn't been called most of the night, but Reyes down on strikes.
Milwaukee Brewers used one word to describe his motivation this season: fear. And then he further elaborated on that.
letting fear kind of, you know, cripple you is not great, obviously. But I think the fear of, you know, I'm throwing every pitch like it's going to be my last. I'm throwing every pitch with 100% conviction and really utilizing my fastball. And I think when I use that fear correctly and I use it right, it fuels me to go out there every fifth day and then prove not only to myself but to my teammates that, you know, I can be consistent every 5 days and give this team a chance to win every 5 days.
So then I followed up and asked Trevor where he got the ability to use fear to his advantage, and he said it developed over time. And then get this, Joe and Rock, he said it crippled him in his junior year in college at Arizona State University. So then he said it could have done to him earlier in his professional career, and he admitted that we could be having a different conversation right now. The one we're having is one of the best pitchers in the second half of baseball, or maybe the best pitcher in all baseball the second half this season. That could have quite obviously gone in another direction. But how about that honesty from Trevor?
Yeah, I would never have thought that. That was surprising to me to hear him say that. But, you know, now that the way that he pitches, you clearly know he has no fear up there.
Yeah, fearless.
And he ascended to be the closer at Arizona State. You know that role in a big-time program, you've got to be fearless. Was not a hard thrower in high school, was recruited more as a favor, and really built his career in college, learning the craft, and then also getting a little stronger, throwing a little harder. And here, getting better and better. Contreras on deck. 2-2 on Ian Happ. I remember talking to Williams in 2016 spring training before he had ever thrown a pitch for the Pirates. And I said, "What's your out pitch?" And he said, "His fastball." And I thought that was interesting because usually it's some sort of breaking pitch, right? But even then, I mean, before he'd ever been in the big leagues, he knew he could get guys out with that pitch.
Well, by the time guys get to the big leagues, they should have a pretty good idea what makes them successful. And, you know, and there's no reason to change that once you get to the level unless your opposition forces you to change that. And, you know, I think sometimes pitchers will come to the big leagues and they'll have success doing it their way, and then you're facing you having to throw to a catcher that you've never thrown to before, that's a veteran that you don't want to shake off, and the catcher has a game plan, and there might be an adjustment period because the catcher will put down a sign you don't want to shake the veteran catcher, and so you're throwing what the catcher wants instead of what you've thrown to get people out and to make you successful. And I think that, you know, that's where, you know, the more you work together, the more obviously you develop a relationship and respect for one another. And
Happ runs.
wow.
Right on target, and he's gone. Cervelli nails Happ for the out.
It's really remarkable how well Cervelli has been throwing the ball this year. It's a quick release, it's a strong arm, and it's incredibly accurate. And he's thrown a number of them from his knees, like this one, right on the money. Jay Hay just got to catch it and put it on him.
36% coming in, and that is an inch fair. Oh, they've hit him down the lines tonight. Another extra base hit. Zobrist, Bodie, now Contreras, all hitting them down the lines for extra bases. These aren't gap shots. These have been hard hit balls, but right down the line.
Yeah, that's a hanging slider, and yep, just bouncing over the base, even though it lands just outside the foul line. As long as it goes over the base, it's a fair ball. Reyes doing his best to try to throw out Contreras. Yeah, Trevor will get away with more fastballs in that location than he will sliders in that location.
How critical was that to erase Happ on the bases? So 1 out and Contreras at second. And there's 2-run game here in the 4th. Lester struck out looking his first time. Contreras not slow, but probably a below average runner. Williams' pitch count a little higher than usual, where he's at 70. Trying to keep it a 2-run game here in the 4th. And he's behind on Lester. Williams just worked Lester for an 11-pitch at bat in the top half of this inning. He doesn't want to return the favor. Past Moran. Contreras being waved home. And the tag, he is out.
How about that?
Pablo Reyes throws him out from left. That little spark plug can do it all.
That is a heck of a play. Contreras held up a bit at that line drive, thinking maybe it was going to be caught or right at the third baseman, so he didn't get a good break off a second. If it's 2 outs, he scores easily, but because he held up, he got the third late. He comes around.
And Cervelli did a heck of a job holding on to that ball.
Yeah, Cervelli, I'm not exactly sure why he came up the line, but he was able to kind of catch the in-between hop, put the tag on. Contreras never did get to the plate.
He didn't glove that ball. He had to trap it against his glove.
Yeah, Brian Butterfield, I mean, with 1 out, that's a risky play. Cubs really hurting their chances this inning. All 3 batters reaching safely, 2 of them thrown out on the bases.
A walk, a double, and a single. Look on our Allegheny Health Network Super Bowl.
I mean, wow, look at that little ankle to the chin.
Yeah, he's got the ball. He can block the plate.
Yeah, he went out there, and yeah, that was not a great decision.
So Lester at first.
There you see he's holding up. If that's right at the third baseman, you know, he's got to be able to get back to the bag at second. And so, great throw still by Reyes. Nice job by Cervelli handling that throw.
He threw out an attempted base stealer and then made the tag to get Contreras. And Bodie, who tripled in the 2 runs, back in the second. In the lineup because Chris Bryant, hit in the wrist with a pitch on Tuesday, has not played since. Batting behind the pitcher. Lester stands at first. Swinging 3-0. The defense picking up Williams here in this 4th inning. They may have let him down in the second. But they have certainly maybe gotten those 2 runs back here in this frame. Second walk of the inning. 3rd tonight by Williams. All 4 batters have reached. Yet 2 outs, nothing across.
Yeah, I mean, allowing 9 base runners for Trevor Williams. I'm going to look back. I think in his last 18 starts, he's allowed 9 base runners once. Wow. That's when he gave up 9 hits against St. Louis. back on August the 5th.
If he can get Daniel Murphy here, they'll keep it at a 2-run game. The Pirates have threatened in every inning tonight against Lester, who is now in scoring position. He's got Murphy twice tonight. That's going to get through. Lester will try to score. And the throw is late. Backed up by Williams. Daniel Murphy, the 2-out RBI single. 3-0 Chicago. So the 2-out walk, moving Lester up. Murphy comes through.
Yeah, that's a nice looking swing, and that ball hit extremely hard back through the box.
Do or die try to play for Cervelli.
Yeah, good effort by Cervelli trying to catch and tag all at once, but even if he comes up with it cleanly, Lester's in.
All 5 hitters have reached in the inning. 2 outs on the bases.
And maybe a Pirates get another break here. You get a ground ball from Zobrist because Murphy had no interest in running. And that could be the 3rd bad base running play or decision by the Cubs. When the ball goes to center field and the throw comes home and it gets past the catcher and the backup pitcher and it rolls around behind home plate. The batter runner probably shouldn't be on first still.
Even up on Zobrist. Well, I still feel like that with the way that the Pirates keep getting base runners on, they got a chance in this game still.
I know. I mean, they're obviously 2 outs, but still, I mean, you're in this situation where this is a very important game for the Cubs. I mean, you could show a little more urgency. You jog the entire way, you're probably on second or 3/4 something.
Right to Bell. Well, Zobrist hit one down the line his first time up.
And to be honest with you, if Murphy's on second, Bell's off the line there, that could be a double.
Starling Marte taking his power and speed to a new level. And Joe Musgrove and Stephen Brault talking about their long road from high school to sharing a dugout in the big leagues. Those stories and our top plays debut this Saturday after Pirates postgame. Here in Chicago, series finale, the Cubs leading 3-0 on the UPMC scoreboard. And the Cubs are really helping the Pirates from making that could have been a very big inning for them.
Yeah, that could have been. I mean, tip your cap to Trevor Williams. You know, I mean, he did get some help from his defense. Cervelli with a big caught stealing, a nice throw and catch from Reyes to Cervelli. A break from Daniel Murphy. Not going hard. I guess that's kind of been a problem for the Cubs this year as far as running into outs, whether it be caught stealing and
not taking an extra base,
getting thrown out, taking extra bases, fly ball double plays. I guess they're second worst in all of baseball in those situations.
Well, that's what's so interesting is Happ got thrown out attempting to steal. Is that there is no clear-cut favorite to win the pennant, let alone this division or out in the National League West. Still up for grabs. This game still up for grabs. Lester has been in relative hot water. Lukewarm some innings, boiling in others, but still coming out okay. Here's his 90th pitch, though. A 21 pitch fourth inning. More than half of those were when he faced Trevor Williams.
Yeah, that's his signature cutter. You know, watching it on TV, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of movement. You know, it's 86, 87. He'll throw it, and he's got some swings and misses at it up in the zone. And it looks like, wow, what's going on with that pitch? You watch it live, there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of cut to that pitch.
He's gone full on Bell all 3 times tonight. Cervelli next. Trying to get that offense going here in the 5th.
Lester's one of those guys that just has a rubber arm. He just can pitch and pitch and pitch. 11th straight season with 30 or more starts.
Just to stay healthy.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. And looking at season high, boy, he threw 119 way back in June.
Routine to Baez. First 2 gone. I mean, the way that the pen has been a little shaky for the Cubs. You might ride Lester a little longer, right?
Yeah, I mean, you would think that maybe if he gets a quick out here that he comes out for the 6th. But again, I mean, he might have to turn around. They might have to give him the ball again here on Monday or Tuesday.
Now, right now, if there's a game 163, if the Brewers and Cubs are tied, or if the Cubs are tied for the chance to make the wild card, which is unlikely, then they'd have to play it off on Monday. It is a quick inning for Lester, his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Cubs have the lead. Trevor Williams back out. We hope to have you back out for 2019. Season tickets now available for the Pirates. Full, half, and 20 game plans ready for you. So you can pick the plan that fits your needs. Year-long benefits, a price discount, flexible exchange policy, and a team store discount, and a whole lot of perks for being a season ticket holder. Go to pirates.com/season tickets. Pirates with one more win this season secure a winning record in 2018. Trying to close the gap in 19 to catch the Cubs. Right now the division leaders. They'll have company if the Pirates can come from behind and win tonight. A razor thin half game margin over idle Milwaukee. Rizzo's been retired twice. Williams quickly had 2 strikes. No problem with that fan in the front row getting the ball from Rizzo.
That's a great seat for a souvenir. You're in the front row, down in shallow right or left.
I'm sure you scouted out all the spots at Three Rivers, right? I mean,
I'd have to wait until after the 7th inning to sneak down to the box seat area, get down on the rail, but still looking for my first souvenir.
Same. Mercer stays with it. Gets Rizzo for the first out. Williams has had base runners in every inning tonight, as Lester had until his 1-2-3 fifth. So both pitchers not quite themselves.
And a lot of pitches, a lot of work.
Baez with the bases empty. 2 out hits tonight, scoring the runs. Bodie with a triple in the 2nd. Murphy a single in the 4th. Pirates took the first 2 games of this series and nearly came back last night. Dying fast out there. Base hit. Baez trying for 2. That's a hustle double for Javi Baez.
Well, that's the way you're supposed to run the bases. A little ball off the end of the bat. Sounded like it broke the bat. And you know, as an outfielder, the one thing that we always see from Corey Dickerson in left field, and why we rave about Corey Dickerson so much in left field, you'll never see him hold the ball that long, ever. He gets the ball out of his glove immediately after he catches it, and that stops base runners. That makes them stop and think twice before taking that extra base.
So Baez with his 39th double. The Cubs have had a man in scoring position in the 1st, 2nd, 4th, and now here in the 5th. The difference there, 3 hits to the Pirates, none in those situations. Schwarber hitting 198 with runners in scoring position. And all year, the Pirates as a team, they're 2nd in the league. The Cubs have been in that bottom 3rd of the league in runners in scoring position, batting average. Tonight so far the tides have turned, but as we saw last night, no Cubs lead is safe.
No. Still a lot of game left.
Comebacker, and Baez hung up. Mercer to Williams.
Somebody better get back to first. Never mind. There you go. Well, that's how you get into a rundown. I mean, you know, the base running, obviously Baez caught. He's supposed to see it by the pitcher. But if it's going, if you're going to get hung up in a rundown, that's what you do. You stay in it long enough. And the batter runner, in this case Schwarber, he has to recognize, okay, my runner's in a pickle. I got to get my butt to second base. And so, I mean, that's a good job by Baez, good job by Schwarber. You know, after the initial mistake of getting caught into that rundown.
1-5-6-1 goes the putout, because in essence, if he freezes, you throw out Schwarber at first. You have a runner at second with 2 outs. But we see a lot of guys sometimes, you know, they give themselves up. And the guy stuck at first. So
we've seen that a bunch this year, where a Pirate runner has given himself up instead of getting in a rundown, unfortunately. But that's what you're supposed to do. You know, you lose a little bit of speed by having Schwarber out there, but you're in the same situation. Runner on second, 2 outs.
After getting a favorable strike call to start, it's now 1-1 on Happ. It's reached both times. Williams' spot is due up 5th. And Steve Cishek is getting up. Lester is in the hole right now if this inning continues. He's thrown 96 pitches. And right now so is Williams. Dovydas Neverovskis up for the Pirates.
You got to figure this is perhaps the last batter Trevor Williams will face this season.
He wants to finish on a high note. It's been a great year. Just missing there. He wants to keep it close enough so these Bucks bats against the Cubs pen can launch a comeback as they did last night. He got him to go, and Happ down on strikes. Trevor Williams with a strikeout, perhaps ending his fantastic season. that's going to be it for Trevor Williams' 2018 campaign.
What a great campaign it was, too, for Trevor Williams. That's one heck of a season. You know, didn't quite get that ERA under 3. Had a chance, but he gave up 2 because a ball wasn't caught in the outfield. Still has a chance for 15 wins, though. In order to get that, the Pirates' bats got to get going and need some base runners, and we need to score 4. But, you know, you never see this from Trevor Williams. 8 hits allowed, 3 walks, 11 base runners, but minimize the damage again. It could have been just 1 run instead of 3. Well, then again, it works the other way. He had some nice help defensively. 1 inning, he had a
5 men reached.
5 men
to start the inning.
Yeah,
but he had 2 outs.
Yeah, 1 caught stealing, 1 thrown out at the plate.
Well, Clint Hurdle said before the game, 1 game will not detract from Williams' great season if it didn't go well tonight. And I tend to agree with you that both pitchers really kind of surviving. But a couple of 2-out hits for the Cubs scoring their runs. The Pirates have lacked that. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position against Leicester, which tells you they've had their chances.
The only other game that Trevor Williams has allowed 11 base runners was his 2nd start of the season back on April the 6th. He's been very, very good.
That was a long time ago. Got underneath it. Short right. Zobrist has the first out. That's 5 in a row sent down by Leicester. That's his best stretch tonight. His spot is due up 2nd next inning.
We'll see if he can get through this inning. There's no way he'll be hitting next inning or the bottom half of this inning.
We'll see if the pinch hitter is for him or for some reliever. Pirates had the bases loaded with 1 out in the first. Hit well, but with room. Happ has the 2nd out. Gave it a ride, but long, loud 2nd out. After this tonight, go to Josh Harrison's hometown of Cincinnati to conclude the championship season. Our Nissan road ahead. Kingham and DeSclafani tomorrow night at 6. Saturday afternoon affair. Jamison Tyone will make his 32nd start. And then good old TBA goes for the Buccos in the Sunday finale. Thanks for joining us all season long here on AT&T Sportsnet. That'll be the consolation series. Unfortunately, the Pirates, though, in a division where they have 4 teams above 500. The only one in baseball.
Yeah. Colin Moran, a rare start against a lefty. He's hit 2 rockets. A liner to left for a double and a liner to center for an out.
Now it's AAA, but last year at Fresno he hit lefties very well. I mean, there was not much of a difference between lefties and righties. But this year, when the Pirates had David Freese, they would kind of work him in a good bit against left-handed starters. So Moran hitting just 172 against lefties coming in tonight. But yeah, you're right, 2 well-hit balls. And no ordinary lefty to boot.
Well, Lester's one of those lefties that, you know, he doesn't throw many breaking balls. So you're going to see a fastball to hit pretty much every at bat. Not going to see the changeup as a left-handed batter. see the cutter posing a problem, though. That cutter, that run away from the lefty.
On to Murphy. And Lester concludes his outing tonight with 7 in a row sent down, keeping the Pirates down 3.
Barrel Automotive. We'll beat anybody's price. Find out more at barrel.com. And by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. Let's go Bucks!
It's going to be the bullpens now. Will the Cubs have a 1-game lead over Milwaukee, or will the Pirates come back and take the series? Lester finished strong tonight, did not break. He bent. Retired the final 7 in a row after the Pirates threatened in the first 4 innings against him.
There wasn't many hugs in that dugout. Old school high fives and handshakes and fist bumps. Dovydas Neverauskas taking the mound for the 23rd time. 24 innings, 23 strikeouts.
The ERA over 8, but in his last outing Tuesday against these Cubs, 2 scoreless. Allowed just 1 single. An important job for the bullpen now to keep this a 3-run affair. Remember, the Pirates were down 4 runs entering the 8th inning last night and battled to tie. The Cubs pen has been pretty good all year. I mean, in fact, they lead the National League with the lowest earned run average, but we're basing it off what we've seen in this series, and up and down, especially because of a couple of injuries, key injuries. Morrow lost for the year, and they're without Stroke for the time being, who has filled in as the closer. So last night they used the ex-Bucco Justin Wilson, who relinquished a 2-run lead in the 9th. Got to keep it close, though. Yeah, there's 1 out.
Always like those. Once you fall behind in the count, get some weak contact. Easy play for Colin Moran.
And Tommy LaStella, the pinch hitter extraordinaire for the Cubs. 23 pinch hits. .315 as a pinch hitter. That's hard to do.
Yeah, it's a hard job. I guess the more you do it, the more you simplify it, the more comfortable you become in that role. Try to keep it simple. Look for a pitch in a certain area, and if it's there, swing. If it's not, you take up until 2 strikes, then you have to battle.
Not a big power hitter, but has had a pinch home run. Has hit 8 overall. Line to left. Extra bases for Listella. Well, made it a contested play at second.
That's a sweet looking swing. Pitch down and away from him, just goes with it.
Good throw by Marte.
Made it close.
I think he could hit a coffee can at the plate. Put it right in there.
I mean, he was going hard out of the box too, and that play was very close.
And he's an average runner, so I mean he's not slow. It's a good throw by Marte. 8th double. The Cubs have had a man in scoring position in every inning but the 3rd. It has taken some work to keep this game where it's at. The Cubs bats were quieted in the first 2 games of this series. They scored 1 run on a Cole Hamels home run. That scored 6 off the starter Ivan Nova last night, and then the game winner in the 10th. There's home run Hamels.
That was a crazy little run there. Pirates pitching against Cubs hitters.
And Bodie down on strikes, and now officially out. Yeah, the Pirates limiting the Cubs to 5 total runs over 6 games spanning 2 series. First time they had done that since the turn of the previous century, back when Hannes Wagner was on the Pirates.
Well, the way it happened was what was so bizarre. 5 straight games with a solo home run line. That was it.
One of those oddities that never happened before. The great statistical services that we have that are able to find that. Hayward not in the starting lineup tonight. Just wondering if not having his defense out there would matter. So far we've seen nothing of the sort. Daniel Murphy, that 2-out single in the 4th inning, plating the 3rd run. Bodie's 2-out 2-run triple right up the 3rd base line in the 2nd. Got the scoring started. Trying the corners. That's Listella after his pinch double. Williams with the first 5. Still 1-2 on Murphy. The wind is shifting a bit, starting to blow out. Swirling. Still not as brisk as we've seen it, but it's picked up a little bit. So we'll see if that factors in at all.
Yeah, usually it's dangerous.
Not if you keep it on the ground. Neverauskas with a scoreless inning of relief, stranding that one out double and keeping it a 3-run game for Cishek coming on.
And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pirates down 3-0 as we begin the 7th here at Wrigley. Pirates had some early chances against John Lester. And for the first time tonight, they'll face the Cubs pen. Steve Cishek sells seashells by the seashore.
4-3, a 2.25 ERA. 68 innings, 75 punch outs, just 183 average against.
But the Pirates have fared well against him in this series. He's given up run scoring hits to Pablo Reyes, who's due up third. And that Elias Diaz 2-run single last night that made it a 6-4 game. He's also walked batters in each of his 2 brief outings of this series. Right ahead on Mercer. And 3 strikes, you're out for Mercer to start the Pirates' 7th. MLB at Bat, that's your #1 Pirates app. You can customize your experience to catch every moment. Get Pirates home screen icons, MLB.TV's Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Neverauskas, a scoreless inning as Kevin Kramer will pinch hit. They had Frazier on deck, assumedly if Mercer got aboard.
Clay Holmes will be the new pitcher. Pirates needed 2 in the last 2 innings, each of the last 2 innings last night. They only need 1 per inning for the last 3 to tie things today.
.111 in Kramer's first time in the big leagues. 16 strikeouts and 27 at bats. Had a very good year offensively at AAA. To the opposite field. And to the track. Yeah, that wind might be carrying it a bit. looked like it gave it a little legs underneath it.
That's what makes this place dangerous. You miss hit balls, they end up in the seats.
But a second out for Reyes, who impressively on Monday, the first time he ever faced Cishek, was able to wrap a run scoring hit. And he said he just he stayed calm during the at bat. Tried to see the ball hit the ball. Sound like an old veteran, doesn't he?
Keep it simple.
Because I would imagine that slant from Cishek is tough for a right-handed batter.
Anybody that throws sidearm is tough for right or left-handed batters. That's why, you know, that batting average against is below 200. I mean, it's just not normal to pick a ball up from down under. Then you got movement, typically more movement on the fastball. Slider comes in kind of flat.
First time I ever faced him. Opened up and sent it through. The Pirates opened this series with 2 wins. And nearly battled back for a third. Hello. Pretending to, she probably flinched when that ball came back to the netting. Out to center, but hanging up there.
Boy, that ball was hit right on the button.
But a 1-2-3 inning. And at the stretch, still 3-0 Cubs. T-Mobile, and the Pirates helping out the cause on defense. Think of that 4th inning. Cervelli nailing Ian Happ. And Pablo Reyes with a strong throw. Getting Contreras at the plate.
Yeah, that could have been a long inning, but a couple of nice defensive plays. He's been so good at throwing out runners this year, Cervelli.
And Reyes is showing a good arm at times out there in the outfield in his first month in the big leagues. And Cervelli, one of the leaders. And a rookie will pitch to him.
Clay Holmes, 10th appearance, 20 1/3 innings.
Nearly a walk an inning. That has been the trouble spot. But has good stuff and had good results at AAA. Oh, it took it off the mask on a hop. Either one close to the leadoff man, Zobrist. Gets the call there. Three and one on the leadoff man. Rizzo next, and then Baez. Tough trio for Holmes here in the 7th. Out to Jay.
Yeah, you think, Clay Holmes, you saw his numbers and the walks are up there, and so the command isn't always there for him, but the stuff, man, he has some great stuff. We've seen the velocity in the upper 90s, always has great movement on that sinking fastballs. If he can stay in the zone, I mean, he's going to be good. I mean, he's going to have a successful big league career. It's just a matter of being able to consistently find that release point, keeping the ball in the strike zone.
I think we said a lot about that with Tyler Glasnow in terms of, if he could throw strikes. Holmes a better walk rate down at AAA. Glasnow's was about 5+. His in the high 3s. You'd want to bring that down a tick at the major league level, but still, we haven't seen that translate yet, though. And he's also been up and down from the minor leagues. He's pitched in and out of the bullpen, started on occasion. Be interesting if he does get, several starts in a row. See what he's capable of, but he's been impressive when we've seen him in a few different glimpses. And he's gotten 2 outs here in the 7th. Javi Baez coming up. A look at our Point Park social media. Rick wants to know, who do you got winning the most valuable player award? What do you think, Rock?
I got Yelich.
Of the Brewers?
I would have said a couple of weeks ago it may have been Carpenter. He's cooled off some, and just because I think as far as being the most valuable, without Carpenter, I don't think the Cardinals are even a 500 club. Carpenter made and what he did from, for that 3 or 4 month stretch was incredible. Baez, certainly a candidate that'd probably be second.
Arenado and Story from Colorado, I would think would be some guys to look at. Goldschmidt, another guy like Carpenter. Slow start, really coming on. And Freddie Freeman never gets the herald that he deserves. He's been so good in Atlanta. But
he would have been my number 3.
Baez retired on strikes. Doesn't wish to run, so the inning shall end. 1, 2, 3 from Clay Holmes. Bucks bats need to get going. Down 3. during every Friday Pirates game. Latecomer, our featured performer for the final Friday of the season, tomorrow night as the Pirates take on the Reds on Friday Night Rocks, presented by Iron City Beer. Tomorrow night from Cincinnati. We'll join you. The finale here in Chicago. The winner takes the season series. Will the Pirates stage another late comeback as they did last night? Holmes a good job retiring the side in order. The bats have been quieted since a late uprising in the fourth, but nothing across against Cubs pitching.
Well, Edwards had trouble throwing strikes in last night's game, and a big reason why the Pirates were able to come back and tie it. Still has good numbers, very tough to hit, nasty stuff, but he has to throw it over.
Ball one. Marte, Bell, and Cervelli, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. This is a good chance right here. Marte tied the game last night. The Pirates were down to their final strike with a 2-run double. Hitless with a walk. Now you talk about Edwards in September. He's walked 1 out of every 3 batters he's faced.
Whoa.
And you see why.
Yeah, that's has to be a concern for the Cubs. You mentioned the injuries of their closer Morrow and Strop. This guy, you'll hear some big league players say they don't want any part of facing it, Carl Edwards Jr., because his stuff's so nasty. But if he doesn't throw it over, you don't have to worry about it.
Not close. Marte has tied a career high in walks. He's walked twice tonight.
And is that twice this series? He's had 2 walks in a game.
8th time in his career, if I'm not mistaken. 2 walks in a game, twice in the series.
Very difficult to do.
Jim Hickey rushing out to the mound. So maybe the Pirates can get something going here in the 8th inning, and some of the Brewers fans that are cheering for the Pirates tonight, please allow us to join you. We are family. Yes, for those in and around Wisconsin. Never wanted another team to win as much as the Pirates tonight. Yeah, because they could tie each other. Oh, sending all the brats and cheese curds? Yes, please. We'll take it. Pierogies and fries on your salad, heading out that way.
And that's a borderline pitch not going Edwards' way. Then you get help. Yeah, there's no question there was an offer there.
First strike of the inning.
That's some more help. Yeah, doing him a favor. That's helping Edwards. I mean, he's still up in the zone, unable to make an adjustment.
Hops over Bodie's glove. And there are 2 on with nobody out. Tying runs coming up.
That's a nice little break there too. Bodie never got his feet moving, just kind of stood there, and that ball just ate him up. Yeah, anytime you're over there flat-footed, you're just kind of at the mercy of the hop, and you know Bodie just turns his body, doesn't get in front, doesn't move the feet, gets eaten up. Despite the fact that an Olay and no glove, Bell not going to be rewarded a hit.
An error on Bodie. Nonetheless, 2 on for Cervelli. Nearly homered in his pinch hit appearance last night. Doubled. That set up the Pirates to tie the game late. And down in the waiting room, Chavez and De La Rosa getting up. Could be a double play ball. It is. That's a big help for the Cubs. Well, they've made some big pitches when they've been in trouble tonight.
Yeah, Baez stayed back on that ball, and then Murphy kind of steps and throws off his back foot. Thought maybe Cervelli would be able to beat that out. But yeah, that's a big double play. Carl Edwards Jr., nobody happier than him.
And now Osuna. The Pirates, one of the better teams, second best in the league. Batting average with runners in scoring position tonight are 0 for 9. Got Marte at third with 2 away. Hit well, but right at Happ. 2 on, nobody out. Quickly evaporates as Edwards holds the lead, still 3-0.
Net is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers, and by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Late night rival for the Pirates in Cincinnati. They don't care. They'll stay here all night if it means a victory. They went to extra innings last night before the Cubs finally prevailed. They've only got 3 outs left. It's still a 3-run game thanks to some good work out of the pen by Neverauskas and now Holmes. 1, 2, 3, 7th. Schwarber, Happ, and Contreras 2 up. Thought maybe with the 2 on and Cervelli up, that breeze starting to blow out. The way he's been stinging the ball here in this ballpark. Ooh, that would have been something to quiet the faithful.
Just one of those nights where you just can't get the hit. Lots of opportunities. Right out of the gate with opportunities. Just haven't been able to cash them in.
Yeah, the Pirates 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. See, that's still a strike.
What's that?
The pitch on that part of the plate.
Just on the edge.
Or a little bit in Schwarber's case. It was Lester's bread and butter early tonight. Yeah, tip your cap to the Cubs. They made some big pitches.
And they got some help.
And they gave some help on the bases in that 4th inning. You don't win 92 games by accident. Pirates have played them hard in this series. At worst, they'll split, which would give the Cubs the season series 10 games to 9 and a 1-game lead over Milwaukee. The Pirates will have Harrison, Moran, and Mercer due up. And like we saw last night, it's always a question who will close the game or try to close the game. Is probably more appropriate. Might be Edwards.
Chavez has been throwing. He's sitting there. He's loose.
He's been one of their best and most consistent relievers.
He's been doing a nice job. He's kind of got that fastball. Chavez with not a lot of velocity, but not a lot of hard contact off it. Gets a lot of late swings.
Now behind on the first 2 hitters. That's cracked. And Marte quickly gets in front, limiting Happ to a 1-out single. So a man aboard with 1 out. And as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in today's game. And Happ will come out after being retired caught stealing earlier tonight. The Cubs will bring in their base running specialist Terrence Gore, the ex-Royal, whose sole job is to pinch run. Although he did get his first major league hit earlier this month against Max Scherzer of all people.
He go.
And did he stay on the bag? Yeah, a stolen base for Gore.
Not a lot you can do there, Francisco.
Well, if that's all you can do, you better be good at it. And Gore is 6 for 6. Was on the Royals postseason teams in 14 and 15 to do just that. And Moran, foul ball. That was awfully close. Where's across the back?
Ooh,
foul ball.
Yeah, that's really close. Perfect angle. Good look at it by Sam Holbrook.
Wonder if Gore would even try to steal third with 1 out.
Jay Hayes sneaking around back there, trying to keep him close.
Chin music.
fastball. Oh, almost got the hands. Kept running in. They got a little lucky the other night when Chris Bryant got hit in the hand. I mean, obviously he's missed a couple games since then, but no break.
Or taken off. And he will be at third with 2 outs. Trying to keep it at 3-0 here in the 8th. Jason Hayward will bat for Carl Edwards Jr. One for 4 as a pinch hitter, seldom used as such. One thing to think about, Gore came rambling home last night with the winning run in the 10th inning. We talked about Richard Rodriguez, who was on the pitch. Would he throw his breaking ball with the rash of wild pitches we've seen? And talking with him today, and he said, yeah, that was a concern that he did want to indeed stay away from it. Threw Almora 3 fastballs, and Almora caught up with the third. The first run that Rodriguez is allowed in 6 weeks. But you know, it's interesting. What do? You go with your best pitch in Rodriguez's case sometimes with that curveball or the high fastball has been good?
Well, yeah, if you go to the fastball, though, it's one of those deals where you don't want it to be hittable 0-2. I mean, you can go way off the plate, you can go way up, you can go in off the plate. It was over the plate. A bit up. Not sure if it was in the strike zone or not, but you don't want to throw a ball in the strike zone. That situation on an 0-2 pitch.
And does that keep Holmes from using a breaking ball here? He's thrown all fastballs and he's got the count even.
That I thought was a breaking ball.
Was that a tight slider there?
It moved, whatever it was.
Take a look.
Maybe a cutter.
Deuce is wild. He struck him out. Got him to chase. Well, Holmes does a nice job with 2 scoreless. Last chance for the Bucko Bats, down 3 at Wrigley. Nothing Cubs in the series finale here. The Pirates will pick up and conclude the championship season in Cincinnati. It begins tomorrow night. Nick Kingham against Anthony DeSclafani of the Reds. We bring you Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason at 6 p.m. tomorrow night right here on AT&T Sportsnet. Terrence Gore is going to stay in the game. And he's out to left. Jason Hayward in right field. Ben Zobrist will move to second. And there's Jesse Chavez to start the ninth. And Albert Almora Jr. has taken over for Happ in center field. Little bouncer. One pitch and one out in the ninth. Well, Bodie missed one earlier. Has made a few nimble plays over there at third.
Chavez, nice pickup by these Cubs. 5-2 with 2.66 ERA. He's worked 91 in the third innings overall. 88 strikeouts.
Colin Moran, he's hit the ball hard a couple times tonight. Doubled in the second, lined out in the fourth. Pirates need 2 base runners, as they got with nobody out in the eighth. But as has been the theme tonight, lacking that breakthrough hit. The Cubs scored their 3. A 2-out, 2-run triple by Bodie in the second. A run scoring single by Murphy in the fourth. Chavez, who began his career with the Pirates, trying to finish him off.
94.
Well, he's had a lot of success here in the second half of the season and a 1.36 ERA since the All-Star break. Mercer on deck.
Throwing as hard now as he did when he was a rookie way back when.
Yeah, 10 years ago. No swing. Well, if Moran and possibly Mercer can get aboard, it would be a pinch hitter. Due up fourth this inning. And the Pirates have Dickerson and Frazier among the veterans on their bench. I just called Frazier a veteran. I guess 3rd full season now, right? Or almost 3rd full season.
Not a rookie.
No, he's played like one now. And Moran has had a lot of good at-bats in these types of situations too. Dickerson waiting for a chance. I'd love to see him come up as the tying run here in the ninth.
Yep, that would be fun.
Called out. That's a big second out for Chicago.
Yeah, good movement. A high 2-seam fastball with the great run. Look at how much that ball moves. It starts in like maybe inside corner, maybe even a little bit off the plate, and runs over the middle, top of the zone.
Up to Jordy Mercer. Now, how many times in that 8th spot does he have to try to get on to bring the pitcher up, or here just to try to keep things going? And he does again. That is such a knack that Mercer has. That 2-out hit, keeping the game going.
Yeah, fastball first pitch was pretty much down the middle, swings through it. Then Chavez tries to go inside. Jordy shortens up, lines it in the left.
So Frazier is going to bat for Holmes. He's been so good for the Pirates since being called up 2 months ago. Need another base runner to bring the tying run up here in the 9th. As we saw last night, the Pirates don't go down quietly. They would love to bring up Dickerson. He would bat for Reyes if the game can continue. Hitters count 2-1. A nervous crowd waiting. Hot shot. Rizzo gets the out at second, and the Cubs will stay in first place alone. Chavez nails down the 9th. A selfie to end the game. And the Cubs, cocksure as ever, and earn a split with the Pirates.
You got to give the Cubs some credit. I mean, they were backs against the wall, losing the first 2 of this series, really struggling offensively, especially against the Pirates. But, you know, and even after giving up the big lead last night, coming back and winning, a walk-off winner. And then today, they just pitched well enough. Lester in and out of jams early. Pirates couldn't get the big hits. The Pirates didn't play the best game defensively, but yeah, you don't score, you don't win.
And the Cubs, good ball club, but tonight a split after the 3-0 defeat. Now let's send it out to Robin Michael.